Alright, guys, I'm back here with another chapter in Deuteronomy. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 24. There's no header for this one. This is one that's just continued regulations for the people of God, the Israelites, where we're at in the Bible. I'm back here in my office. I have one more home game tonight for our boys' senior night varsity basketball. I'm pretty excited about it. I've been enjoying watching all our athletes play this year for Athens, and that's been one of the blessings I've had. It's kept me out of my house and missed my kids a little bit more, but I've really been blessed to have the opportunity to share in some successes and some struggles with our students here at Athens. I've been really enjoying that, and I'm going to jump right into Deuteronomy chapter 24, guys. Here we go. Suppose a man marries a woman, but she does not please him. Having discovered something wrong with her, he writes a document of divorce, hands it to her, and sends her away from his house. When she leaves his house, she is free to marry another man. But if the second husband also turns against her, writes a document of divorce, hands it to her, and sends her away, or if he dies, the first husband may not marry her again, for she has been defiled. That would be detestable to the Lord. You must not bring guilt upon the land the Lord your God is giving you as a special possession. A newly married man must not be drafted into the army or be given any other official responsibilities. He must be free to spend 1 year at home, bringing happiness to the wife he has married. It is wrong to take a set of millstones, or even just the upper millstone, as security for a loan, for the owner uses it to make a living. If anyone kidnaps a fellow Israelite and treats him as a slave or sells him, the kidnapper must die. In this way, you will purge the evil from among you. In all cases involving serious skin diseases, be careful to follow the instructions of the Levitical priests. Obey all the commands I have given them. Remember what the Lord your God did to Miriam as you were coming from Egypt. If you lend anything to your neighbor, do not enter his house to pick up the item he is giving as security. You must wait outside while he goes in and brings it out to you. If your neighbor is poor and gives you his cloak as security for a loan, do not keep the cloak overnight. Return the cloak to its owner by sunset, so he can stay warm through the night and bless you, and the Lord your God will count you as righteous. Never take advantage of poor and destitute laborers, whether they are fellow Israelites or foreigners living in your towns. You must pay them their wages each day before sunset because they are poor and are counting on it. If you don't, they might cry out to the Lord against you, and it would be counted against you as sin. Parents must not be put to death for the sins of their children, nor children for the sins of their parents. Those deserving to die must be put to death for their own crimes. True justice must be given to foreigners living among you and to the orphans. And you must never accept a widow's garment as security for her debt. Always remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and that the Lord your God redeemed you from your slavery. That is why I have given you this command. When you are harvesting your crops and forget to bring in a bundle of grain from your field, don't go back to get it. Leave it for the foreigners, orphans, and widows. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all you do. When you beat the olives from the olive trees, don't go over to the boughs twice. I don't know what that word is. Don't go over the boughs. Boughs. I'm gonna have to look that word up. Twice. Leave the remaining olives for the foreigners, orphans, and widows. When you gather the grapes in your vineyard, don't glean the vines after they are picked. Leave the remaining grapes for the foreigners, orphans, and widows. Remember that you were slaves in the land of Egypt. That is why I'm giving you this command. That's the end of chapter 24, guys. That one was short and sweet. And so, I think it's interesting. I'm going to reread the first 4 verses, because I feel like I stumbled across that a little bit, and I just want that reference point because it reflects on the relationship between a man and a wife, and the understanding of divorce, and really what should and shouldn't be happening. And I just think because of the state of society right now, that I think that just make it better for me. I want to have clarity for that, and so I'm going to read it one more time. So we're back at the beginning, verse 1 through verse 4, chapter 24. Suppose a man marries a woman, but she does not please him. Having discovered something wrong with her, he writes a document of divorce, hands it to her, and sends her away from his house. When she leaves his house, she is free to marry another man. But if the second husband also turns against her, writes a document of divorce, hands it to her, and sends her away, or if he dies, the first husband may not marry her again, for she has been defiled. That would be detestable to the Lord. You must not bring guilt upon the Lord, but upon the land the Lord your God is giving you as a special possession. I guess, and I thought that was the case, that confuses me as to why I assumed that a man that gave her up for divorce, through divorce, I guess I should say, and then after having been with another man, assumed that they would get married again. And so that passage kind of confuses me. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I don't know how to read into that. I'd be curious to see, I mean, even statistically in today's day and age, how many people divorce someone, leave them, and that'd be fine under the law, even the law written here under Deuteronomy, that expectation, get married to someone else, and then at the end of that relationship, go back to the original marriage. I imagine that statistic exists to some extent, but I'm curious as to why there is that understanding for that specific covenant between husband and wife. I imagine there's specific reasons for that, and it says simply to avoid being defiled, and to make sure that that's not welcome, it's detestable to the Lord, and that if you allow that it'll create guilt. It'll bring guilt upon the land, and we don't want that for God's special possession. That all makes sense, but I guess I don't understand as to why it would be allowed, and how do I want to put that? It would be allowed to give the divorce, to go marry again, but it wouldn't be all right to go back to the original person. I don't know. But I'll leave that at that, guys. Got more to ponder. Again, there's not too much I want to dive deep into, especially because these are just regulations. I love the fact that the rest of this passage is really more or less say, hey, when you have much, or if someone asks something of you, and really you can give it, or you have enough that overflowing cup, say leave it for the foreigners and the orphans and the widows. So I like that. That brings a smile to my face, just simply by, hey, no, just know that when you've collected and you've moved forward, so don't look back for that. Leave that for someone else coming along, and you'll be looked at as righteous by God. I like that. I like knowing that he anticipated people having overflow, abundance, and that he said, hey, leave that for someone else, and God will keep taking care of you. And that's the expectation. So I'll leave that alone now. That was chapter 24 of Deuteronomy. I'll be back for chapter 25 of Deuteronomy. Again, where it's just continued regulations. That's another shorter passage, only about 19 verses. Other than that, have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 25 of Deuteronomy tomorrow. Again, no header. Continued regulations. Have a good night. God bless, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.